Well, welcome, Esther. It's such an honor to actually have this time to spend with you and for you to share your amazing story with many other hundreds and thousands of women, because it's so inspirational and you have such a great story that I am so excited for you to share this for the very first time to
It's totally
publicly.
to be here, so thank you.
You're well. So, can you tell me and us a little bit like where you started when we first met, when we first started to work together, kind of where you were in your
So
life?
basically, when we met, I thought I was in a reasonably good place. She's, had a good job. I thought I was in a decent relationship. I thought I knew where I was going. The only problem I had was my weight. I was about 130 kilos, which what 260 pounds. Wearing a size 24, 26 clothes. Um, and I thought I was doing okay, but I felt that I needed to start doing better, and maybe losing the weight for my own benefit because at the time I wasn't sick. But if I kept going the way I was, I would, I don't know, diabetes and heart attack or whatever, all those things. And I wanted to do something about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was.
Yeah, that's what I remember is that you really were in this place where you wanted to up level where you were. You wanted
Yeah,
to have more freedom of movement. I remember you just wanted to feel better in your body overall, and you wanted to not get sick, really sick, before
yeah,
you
exactly.
addressed your weight. And
Yeah.
really, you came in at such an interesting time in your life, right? You had this job that you liked, right? And you had been
Yes,
in a
but
relationship.
I, I,
Hmm.
I have a very different job from most women. I spent the last almost 20 years in the men's world. I do oil and gas safety consulting. There are very few women around where I
You
am.
you had been living in Angola for a month with not a lot of selection of foods, and we had really worked on
Yeah,
trying to make sure you got the best for your body at that time. And then you
you
would
know,
live a month in Germany, right?
correct. Yes. So it was like 28 days of eating whatever I could get my hands on that wasn't too bad. And then I had 28 days back in Germany where I could at least do the shopping and get, I don't know, gluten-free stuff and things. I remember sort of living off bananas and eggs for a while because,
Those are some of the best options that you had.
that was the best option. Yes. Because everything else was breaded this, deep fried that, and just nothing that was appropriate for my sort of schedule and sort of gluten free. So yes, it was.
And that, I
Yeah,
just, I work with clients all the time, and that's such an amazing part is that you are so limited in the amounts of foods. And at first, I even thought, I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to do it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. She's got a selection of like 3 or 4 different foods that she could possibly eat. Let's
yes,
make this work. But you are so committed to the
yes,
program, to yourself, to what you wanted, really, releasing the weight, feeling better in your body, just really up leveling your life is, what I
yeah.
what I got from it. And you did it. And when you would come back to Germany, then you would stock up on all the foods that you couldn't have or had in Angola.
And I traveled to Angola with a suitcase like 40 pounds full of gluten-free crackers and canned fish and canned vegetables. And it can be done. If you want it, you can do it.
Yeah. And you have a beautiful testimony to that. I mean, you did it. And what was really the turning point for you, Esther? I know we started and we were working 3 months together at that time. What was the real turning point for you when you noticed things shifting?
You know, it almost started after the first chat we had. It started with the water. That was just so incredible. And if you remember, in the camp in Angola, we had these 1.5 liter bottles. And my target was like 3.5 liters or so to begin with.
Yes.
Every day. So I set myself this target because Angola is hot. So I upped it a little bit, and I had 3 1.5 liter bottles each day. And people got really quickly used to me walking around with a big water bottle wherever I went. Whenever I was doing a workshop, whenever I was in a meeting, I was sitting there, blocking away the water, And within a couple of days, I felt different,
Yeah.
It was just so amazing what, 4 liters of water a day, what the impact was, and I felt cleaner from the inside, and I was feeling that my skin and my, the wrinkles, were filling out,
Yeah, your skin was getting hydrated.
Yeah, and that, so basically from the first time we chatted, I took something away that began to change my life immediately, And to be honest, and I admit this now that I know you a little bit, when we first started, or before we first started, before I ever started talking to you, I was a little bit dubious. And I thought, God, here's some woman who's going to tell me, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you have to be like this, you have to do that, And I thought, I wonder what I will get out of this, than a diet plan that I probably could download, from the internet somewhere. And, that 12-week program we did, and this might sound really, really cheesy, but it just changed my life. It changed my outlook. We worked through so many issues that, I was thinking, preparing for this, and could I have done this on my own? Maybe. It wouldn't have been this much fun. It would have probably taken me a lot longer. But it was so neat, Every week I had to do something. Every week there was a change. Every week I learned something new. And it was just incredible, how my insights changed, And after the water, I think the next best thing was the wheel. Do you remember the wheel of life?
The circle of life.
Circle of life. Okay, yes. Because I think the first one I filled in, I kind of faked because I still was convinced that I was onto a good thing in most aspects of my life.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I wasn't. The more the relationship that I thought was absolutely it just wasn't. The lots of aspects on there, even the job. I mean, yes, the work was really cool, but I had to go to Angola for it. I had to travel an awful lot. It really messed up my schedule, my body.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of aspects that I needed to reevaluate for myself,
Yeah. Yes.
And then another thing that I'd never ever understood before was when we talked about the primary foods, and that there's in your life that nourishes you on a different level, stuffing food into your mouth, and the digestion type food,
Yes.
And I'd never seen it that way, There were so many that while I was in Angola and stuff, I'd given up on. I always loved to write, and I hadn't written in like a couple of years. And I hadn't noticed how much I actually missed that. There were many turning points. And I think I realized going along that we met at a very good point because I think I was ready for it. I just needed a focus. I just needed something or someone to push me a little bit and to help shape what was about to happen and to unwrap this onion that is me.
The primary foods, if the viewers and people listening to this, really are the things that fuel your soul, and how important they are in creating a program that looks at at the person from a holistic standpoint. So for you were talking about the writing being that fuel, that thing that really brought so much nourishment to you.
Out of all of this came a new partnership. I found a guy
which I don't know much about yet.
No, you don't. But I quickly can tell you, a friend of mine had been going for like a year and a half, telling me that the guy I was seeing in Angola wasn't any good for me, and I should give her cousin a chance. And her cousin would take me out. He would love me, and he would make me feel good. And it's like, no, shut up, I don't want to hear about this. I was at a point where I was just crying about this other guy and just not being in a good place anymore. And I said, will it up if I talk to your cousin once and he can take me to the airport when I'm going through Luanda? And she said yes. So a week before I was going to go through the airport, we called him together. Yes, I will come and pick you up. I will take you to dinner and we'll have a chat, blah, blah. The moment I heard his voice, I was hooked. And when we put the phone down, I thought, I have to come up with a way to get in touch, because I cannot wait another week before I hear from him again, okay? And I sent him a text message saying, this is my phone number, in case next week, Monday, something goes bad, we need to talk. And he texted me back and he said, do I have to wait till next Monday? And I texted back, no. He said, can I call you? Well, call me whenever. We talked like 3 or 4 hours every day. And then when I saw him at Luanda at the airport, we hugged and we basically not let go since. We have been communicating one way or the other every day since. I started my own company. I am now my own managing director. So I work some days and some days I don't, but it's extremely well. Wherever I go, I get good compliments about the work I do.
And you were also getting compliments, if I recall, about how glowing you were and radiant.
I'm just going to tell you about that. Only yesterday I had a workshop with a new team, and one of the guys, some guys that I've never met before, came during the coffee break to tell me that I had a wonderful, beautiful smile and a lovely, gorgeous, and I should just smile all the time. That's another thing I should mention. I came from somewhere between an American size 24, 26. I'm now somewhere between a 14 and 16. For the first time in my life, I'm going out doing shopping, and I have this whole wardrobe full, well, it's in there, okay? I have a whole wardrobe full of cute little dresses, and I'm having shoes now, with heels things, and I go every week to a salon. I have my face threaded. I have a lot of hair growth, I get my manicures, my pedicures, my hair done once a month, with highlights and everything, and it's an absolute blast,
And you didn't do this before, correct?
No, no. I didn't feel the need. I wanted to hide, Like I always thought, yes, okay, I am sexy, but then I look in the mirror and it's like, shit, I'm not, I'm just a fat top. Now, every morning I look in the mirror and it's like, God, you are so gorgeous,
Yes! Yes.
And, and I realize, it's so much about attitude. I walk different now. I talk different now. I act with people differently, and I no longer have to hide, and I no longer want to hide because I am so gorgeous. I have 2 children.
What?
They are 21 and 22, boy.
What do you mean?
I decided to grow up in responsibility. I don't know whether I ever told you, but I was supporting a young girl in El Salvador with her college education.
Oh.
And Laura got into problems with the gangs in El Salvador. She went into hiding last year, March, and then eventually told me about it and said, I don't know what to do. So I said, well, it's easy, you come to Germany. She got into trouble with the gangs because of her boyfriend, who had been in hiding since February, and who also has been threatened to be killed. So to protect him, I smuggled him out of the country too. So they're going to go to university, and obviously 2 kids in college, it's going to be very expensive. So I have to send them somewhere where it's a bit affordable, so they have to go to India for this. So next month, hopefully we'll be able to enroll them. And then in September, October time, we'll send them to Delhi for 3 years.
You're amazing! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
My mouth, it just, wow.
I can say yes. So, a lot of things changed.
I guess so. And so much transformation. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And it all started with 4 liters of water, right?
It all started with 4 liters of water.
And I think this is why diets and things before didn't work for me. It requires a whole lot of honesty. Mm-hmm. And you need to be brave enough to be totally honest with yourself. And you need to be brave enough to really take a look at where you are and what you are and how you are. And you have to be brave enough to say, I don't like, I want to change. And for that to go easy, you need to have a bunch of good people around you. Because I think it's very difficult to do this entirely on your own. So thanks to Danielle, because you were there at a crucial point in time.
You're so welcome. Such an honor.
Realize you want to change for yourself. And I remember, I would start a diet. It's like, because there's this really cute guy I liked, and, to make him like me more. Again, I wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
So when you come to the point where you can be totally honest, you don't have to fake it, because it's okay to have a bad day.
You came to that point where you could be so honest that this was for you, and if you really wanted to change, then you had to get honest and responsible with yourself.
The diet sheet is the easy part,
That's right.
But you're actually sticking to that, and you're actually working with that. That's the bit that you can't take away from anybody, that you have to do that.
Yeah. And have the support and the ability to look at some of the blockades or the blocks that you come up against in transformation.
You need good people around you.
Yes.
People that help you to just carry that feeling that now you're really worth the $1 million. The business is called EP Global Consulting.
Well, tell us your website.
epglobalconsulting.com. I have teams from between 5 to, 30 people. And I guide you to help them identify risks in their facilities.
Have before and after photos too, so that people can also see. We had talked about that, so they can really see, physically also how you've transformed. I mean, your face, your hair, I mean, your body, and so much has changed for you between jobs and partners.
Everything. Yeah, everything, And I'm writing again.
And you're writing, you have a book you're writing.
I am writing, yes. This is a story that I wanted to write since I was 17. I started this about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then when we talked about primary food, I thought I really want to work on this.
Got it.
And I also wanted to work on my memoirs, my biography, but I thought, I've been through so much and so many different things that people won't believe all this. I was sitting with a new friend only the other night, and I was telling her some of the bad experiences, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, you want to make me cry?" And I said, "Yeah, and then on top of all that, I'm a cancer survivor, and she said, "Oh shit, what else?" I said, "Yeah." And then there was a time when this guy put a gun to my head and said, "If I pull the trigger, you'll be dead. How do you feel?" And she just looks at me and she says, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
She was like, "And how can you keep smiling through all this?" And it's like, because life is just beautiful, So, hey, I'm not sure whether I want to write my memoirs. I might just write stories, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I look forward. Please keep us posted. And it sounds like you've had many ruptures, as many women, that are so free to talk about it. Some maybe more than others, right?
Yeah.
But these deep-seated ruptures that have now pulled you into who you are today.
Yes. Yes. It's, sometimes I think I'm good. I'm in a good place now. It's going to get better. The company will take off. Tony will come here and join me, and we'll just take over Abu Dhabi. The book will be published. The future is wide open.
Yes.
But it requires honesty, and it requires faith, and it requires good people around me. So, I have all that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Esther, for sharing your story, because it is so inspirational. And thank you for your time. I know you're super busy and you're halfway across the world.
So, yes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're.
Before we met, I don't think I would have wanted to share my story, but now, it's like, yes, I like to talk about it.
Well, thank you.
If it helps anybody.
Yes. Thank you so, so much.